Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaami. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I've been absent from YouTube for a couple months now, almost 6 months, if not more, and I decided to come back with this video because my previous videos on YouTube were about study abroad, and I planned to release this video last year, but it never happened. And the first video that I filmed, I just did not like it, so here I am filming a new one for you guys because I think this advice is very important and I really want to share it. If traveling more is one of your New Year's resolutions, but you're a student, then studying abroad is perfect for you. So in today's video, I'm going to give you some advice on how to study abroad, and I'm going to break it up into 3 sections. First, I'm going to be talking about the things that you should do pre-study abroad. Then I'm going to talk about what you should do during study abroad. And lastly, I will talk about the things that you should do post-study abroad. So with a little background information on me, last year from late August to late June, I spent a semester in Seoul, South Korea, and I did this through ISEP exchange through my college in the US. So I shared this experience on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. There's lots and lots of proof and records and archives of my time in Korea, so kindly check it out on this channel and all my other social media platforms if you're interested. That's how I gained experience with study abroad. I'm very excited to be sharing my little tips and tricks with you guys. So without much more to say, let's get into the video. First, I'm going to be talking about pre-study abroad. These are the things that you should do before you even study abroad, before you even travel or go abroad. First, you need to start planning and preparing to study abroad as early as possible. You need to start talking to your advisors, working on your applications, and looking for scholarships. I highly recommend that you start this process as early as possible so that you can avoid any bumps and hiccups that may come up on the way. For me, I started planning to study abroad a year before I even went abroad. I had lots and lots of time to plan and prepare because I knew that my situation was particularly unique because I'm already an international student and I wanted to go abroad, which would make me a double international student, which was very cool, by the way. So yeah, I highly recommend starting as early as possible. Next, I highly recommend that you start your visa application as early as possible. The length of your visa and how difficult this application process will be will depend on the country that you're going to. It will depend on your nationality, on your passport, and various factors. So just, start doing that research early and start the application process early. Next, I highly encourage you to do lots of research because in my opinion, it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. I was definitely over-prepared to go to Korea, and even at that, there were still some things here and there. But I just think when you have a vast knowledge of the place that you're going to, then even though new experiences are scary, it kind of takes away a bit of the anxiety and the fear that can arise when you're preparing to travel to a new country or when you're preparing to study abroad. So I highly recommend that you do that. Also, under the category of research, I highly recommend that you budget for the trip, and I also recommend that you create another little section in your budget for unexpected expenses. You can designate $200, $500, $1,000, however much you think you can, however much you think you will need to unexpected expenses, or just an emergency fund in case you have any emergency, or in case a situation arises while you're abroad that you did not plan for. Let's say you want to go to a concert or a festival that you did not budget for, but you really want to go because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Well, if you included that in your budget, then there would be no problem. But if you don't, you might have to take out of your savings, or you might have to take loans, and we don't want that stuff. We don't want to borrow, we don't want to be in debt just because we want to travel. Next, I will highly recommend that you start searching for the classes that you want or need to take abroad ahead of time and get approval from your college or university ahead of time. If you have specific classes that you need to take for your major, your minor, your degree, then get approval ahead of time, because I saw a lot of people that had issues with not being able to find classes for their major. And a lot of the time, if you're getting financial aid to study abroad, then they want to make sure that that financial financial aid is going towards you completing your degree. So if you're not taking classes that are related to your degree, then you might get that financial aid pulled. So just be very careful with that. It's very, very important. So for me, the way my school works, even before you go abroad, you have to get your courses approved by all of your advisors and department heads. So I got my courses approved before I went abroad, but I started hearing about the EWA course registration system and how tedious it can be. So I gathered a list of like 10 classes, 10 possible classes that I can take that are in the political science and philosophy fields. And then I knew for sure that I wanted to take a Korean language class, so I also added those to my list. But I was just over prepared because of what I had heard and the advice that I got from others, and it worked out in the end. I got the international relations class that I needed for my major. I got an ethics class that I needed for my minor. I got the Korean class that I wanted. A class that was kind of new was the American politics class I took, but I enjoyed that class, and honestly I wasn't too stressed about like taking classes for my major or my minor. I just really needed that international relations class, so I'm very, very, very glad that I got into it. And also another little tip, if you don't get into a class, email that professor, go to the first day of class, talk to that professor. Do not be laid back. Your future might be at stake, so don't be laid back at all. Next, make sure you look up travel regulations and requirements for whatever country that you're going to. This part is also especially important because different countries have different regulations and requirements. Different countries have different vaccines that they need you to take before you come. Usually the school that you're going to study abroad in will communicate this information to you, but also do your own individual research so that you're not solely relying on others. You know, you have like literally all the information that you need so that you don't have any immigration problems when you get to the country. I want y'all to be good. And lastly, before you study abroad, make sure you pack efficiently. Not too heavy and not too light. Pack efficiently. Pack according to your needs. Don't pack according to someone else's needs. Some people can pack one suitcase and travel for 6 months and they will be absolutely fine. Some people can pack 3 suitcases and travel for 2 months, and even at that they'll need to ship some stuff back home. So just know yourself, know whatever country you're going to. If there are specific things that you know will be difficult to find in the country you're going to, then pack them with you. But if you know that you're going to be able to find it there, then maybe consider taking it off your packing list. That's all for the pre-study abroad category. These are all the things that you should do before you study abroad. Obviously there's so much more you can do, but I feel like everything that I mentioned here are like the major things that you really need to do if you want to study abroad in another country. So next, let's get into the things that you should do during study abroad. So for the during study abroad category, these are the things that you should do while you are actually abroad. You know, you made it, you've gotten through the most stressful part, which is honestly pre-study abroad prep. In my opinion, that's the most stressful part of the whole process. Once you've gone through that, you've gotten through 50% of, you know, the stress. So now you're abroad, you made it, congratulations. Firstly, I would recommend that you try to make as many friends as possible as early as possible. When you first get to your country abroad, a lot of people are also new there. A lot of people are also, you know, a little bit scared, a little bit anxious. So everybody's looking for friends. This is the best time to make friends because no one has friend groups, no one has cliques, no one knows each other. So everyone's super open to meeting new people, especially if you're with a group of international students, or if you have like an orientation, or if you have an international student dorm. Those are the best places to make your first group of friends while abroad. Make those friends as early as you can because you will need friends to get around. Like, you will need people to go around with. I promise you. You've made your friends, you know, you're having the time of your life. Remember to not only interact with international students, but to also interact with locals. You're going to a new country to have a new experience, to learn about that country, and to improve your intercultural insight. If you want to do that, you need to interact with people that actually live there and work there and go to school there, not just your international friends that are in the same situation as you. So just remember to also interact with locals, and that will honestly improve your experience by far. I know it improved my experience by far. Next, while you're abroad, don't forget to keep up with required paperwork and important deadlines. Unfortunately, the paperwork doesn't end when you get abroad. There are things that you will need to do. For me, I remember I had to do insurance stuff. I had to register for my alien registration card, and there were various other things that I needed to do. The school will usually communicate this to you, but just make sure to stay on top of deadlines so that you don't get in trouble with immigration. While you are abroad, try to balance school and social life. Don't focus too much on the social aspect of being abroad. Don't focus too much on school. It's study abroad, so it's a perfect mix of both. So find a way to balance both of them perfectly. I think I did a really good job of this. I balanced school really well with also exploring Korea. I know in a lot of my vlogs, it looks like I was going out a lot, but if you pay attention, you'll notice that I always went to class. I never missed class. In most of my school vlogs, I designated a certain amount of time to study. I was always on top of my homework. I'm a student. So while I was having the time of my life in Korea, I was also staying on top of my grades. And I ended up having a 3.8 GPA leaving Korea, which is not the GPA that I have in the US, because in the US, I'm more like deep in my books, but 3.8, that's high honors. Very proud of myself for that, and I don't mind sharing. Make sure to find balance, time block, schedule, do what you need to do to organize yourself. Lastly, while you're abroad, be open to new experiences and opportunities. Don't be narrow-minded. This might sound obvious or self-explanatory, but you would be surprised at how many people are so narrow-minded even while they're abroad, and then they don't open up till the last second. It's like, oh, I'm going home next week, but I just opened my mind up to all these new opportunities and experiences. Don't put yourself in that position. Open your mind up from the first day that you're there. Try new food, go to different cities, travel, try new things, do things you've never done before, because usually opportunity comes multiple times in my opinion, but some opportunities are so specific and special. You will never be that specific age in that specific country at that specific time. So you need to do that thing so you can be like, oh, when I was 20 I did that, because you will never be that age ever again. And you might never meet those people you meet abroad ever again. So I say make the most of your experience so you can leave without any regrets. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you so much. The last section of this video will be post-study abroad, and these are the things that you should do after you have finished your study abroad program and you are back home. This section is very short, because honestly there's not much you need to do, but there's still things you need to do, so I'm here to remind you. Firstly, you should prepare to either ship stuff back home or buy extra luggage. Honestly, this piece of advice could go in the during study abroad section, because technically this is something that you should do when you're preparing to leave, but I included it in this section because usually when a study abroad program ends, you have a few weeks or a month before your visa expires, and you can stay in that country longer and have a little vacation. I know a lot of people did that in Korea. Or you can even travel to other countries that are in the region. I know a lot of people that travel to Japan, to Thailand, to Vietnam. After your study abroad program is over, after the study part is over, you can do whatever you want. When you are in this section, or even a few weeks before the study part is over, you need to start thinking about how you're going to transport all your goods back home. Are you paying for extra luggage? Are you paying for overweight luggage? Are you shipping stuff back home? You need to find out the prices of shipping stuff. You need to find out how much shipping stuff is. You need to find out the weight of the boxes. So just, be put together and don't slack off. After you finish studying abroad, make sure you say your goodbyes and leave your host countries with good memories. This is honestly a given, because if you made good connections while abroad, then you're obviously going to say goodbye. But just, little reminder, don't leave with regrets. I hope everyone leaves their country happy. Lastly, make sure to keep in touch with your host institution to make sure that you get your transcripts. Very important. Even though this is the last point on my little list, it's very, very important. Make sure not to slack off, because at the end of the day, you need those credits to graduate. This is going towards your degree. This is going towards your future. For me, I was kind of waiting for my host institution to reach out to me, because they said that they would send our transcripts by the end of July. They did send an email saying that they sent transcripts. So when I received that email, I was like, where's my transcripts? So I emailed them and I asked them, and they said, oh, ask your school, ask this person from your school. So I asked my school and they sent me my transcripts. Obviously, I wanted to see my grades. The weird thing about Korea is you cannot see your grades. They will not show you your grades unless you do something like a written test and they give you back the test. But for your final exam, you're not going to be able to see your grades. And I hated that, honestly, but also I was vibing. I wanted to see my grades. I wanted to know how I did. I'm mostly satisfied with my grades. I got 3 A's, 1 B, which I wasn't expecting the B, but also I wasn't not expecting it. Like, I know I did not give that class my 100%. So I wasn't like, oh my God, a B. It's just, I'm not used to getting B's as my final grade, but I was like, you know what? I chose to travel a lot. I chose to go out a lot, and I chose to prioritize my other classes over this specific one, and that was the outcome. And also, I couldn't see my grades throughout the semester. If I knew I had a B in that class, I would have, reached out to the professor, or I would have put in extra work to raise my grade. So that was a bit of a demerit, but yeah, just like, keep up with your stuff, keep up with your professors, make good connections. A good piece of advice my friend gave me was to get recommendations from my professors while abroad, because a lot of these professors went to Ivy Leagues. They went to like the best schools in the world. Korea does not play. Ewha does not play. They hired the best of the best professors. So that's some good advice, and I think you should take it. If you've made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Also, I want to say Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I'm very excited for 2024. Hopefully I post more this year. I get busy, but I'll try. But since I'm not a very consistent poster, I will try to post like once or twice a month. On YouTube, I'm more active on TikTok and on Instagram, so follow my TikTok and my Instagram. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post a new video. I don't know what's wrong with my throat right now. I'm gonna go take some cough drops right now, because my voice has been cracking this entire video. I don't know if you noticed. I'll probably try and edit out as much of it as I can, but I literally can't help it. Anyways, yeah. Thank you so much. And see you in the next one. Okay, bye.